Well, at least 13 passengers of the Mumbai-bound Pushpak Express who got off the train after an alarm chain pulling incident were run over by another oncoming train from the opposite direction on the adjacent tracks in Maharashtra's Jalgaon district is absolutely worrying. So far, 10 bodies have been identified and one body has been recovered in a decapitated state. Meanwhile, 10 passengers are undergoing treatment. Jalgaon Guardian Minister Gulab Rao Patil has said that the passengers, mostly from the general compartment, were spooked by a rumour that the train had caught fire and jumped out of the train after pulling the emergency chain. They were subsequently hit by a Bangalore to Delhi Karnataka express train on the adjacent track. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar has revealed that a tea seller from the pantry shouted a warning about the bogie fire. The question that comes up is, could this tragedy have been averted and avoided? That's exactly what we talk about with our guest. Joining us on the show is Sanjay Pandey, former Maharashtra DGP, ex-Mumbai Police Commissioner. Prempal Sharma, former Executive Director of the Railway Board, also with us on the broadcast. T.S. Ramakrishna, railway expert, joins us on the show as well. Last but by no means the least, Mr. Sudhanshu Mani, creator of Train 18, joins us on the platform as well. Thank you everyone for being a part of this important conversation. Mr. Ramakrishnan, if you are with us, I'll begin with you. Well, you know, if I look at something like this happening in any other part of the world, this would definitely be considered a freak accident. And off late, you've been on some of those shows very, very recently as well. And off late, you know, the rate of accidents, the frequency of accidents in our country, especially involving railways, has shot up. What do you attribute this, this apathy and callousness to, and what is supposed to be done? 10 people have lost their life. It's a big deal. When 10 people were, in fact, mowed down by a terrorist in New Orleans just a few weeks ago, it made international headlines. How is this any different?
Well, so this is a very much a freak accident, and this is not something new to India. Around 3-4 years back, if you recollect, the same kind of tragedy has happened in Amritsar, when people have assembled for Ravan Leela, Ravan function, and then they were standing and sitting on the track, and then from there they were watching, and the train which came have smashed them, and then so many people have died, much more than this. So after that instant, this is another instant. So essentially it shows that people are not applying their mind while they are in the public spaces. So although you can't directly find fault with the railways for such things, but when somebody creates panic, people have to be more alert than just following the panic and panic calls, and then try to jump from the train or whatever it may be. So they might have played more safe, and they might have maintained their balance much more than anything else, and then this tragedy would have been averted. So that is what I feel, and in this accident, actually, I don't think we can find fault with the Indian Railways. Although there are other accidents where we can find fault with the Indian Railways, this is a very freak accident, and the people should be responsible. And then the culprit, who has created panic in the train, should also be, booked and then prosecuted. That's what I want to say about this.
Okay, all right. Mr. Sanjay Pandey, so how do you look at this accident? It's a freak accident nevertheless. Mr. Ramakrishnan is of the opinion that, not too much could have been done about this. This is a man-made error, so to speak. But there definitely have to be some checks and balances, for something like this happening. This way anybody can get away by screaming fire in a train and cause an accident.
Well, freak as it sounds, but I would like to come to the root of the problem. The fact is, if a person is run down on the road, if he was just trying to cross the road, or he jumped in the middle of a truck, there is an offense which gets registered. The truck driver is arrested. This is, I'm saying from my experience. Now here comes the railways. The railways can mow down 10s, 20s, as the guest just said, where is, and they say the railway is not responsible. Now the issue here is that much more deeper is the railway is a centralist subject in the constitution. Railways are operated by the central government, and the local machinery of the police at times is not empowered to really take any action. You see, I can relate an incident way back when I was SP Railways. It happened in Neral. A cattle was run over by the train in Neral. I actually registered a case. It became a major issue. Now the point here is that the railways, as long as we do not put culpability onto a moving railway, this is exactly the statement that we're going to hear. That, well, it's a freak accident. Imagine if there was going to be, if any death happens and the railways were supposed to be held responsible, there is an internal inquiry which happens. I think there's a railway board member here. There are railway inquiries which happen, but never a criminal culpability is apportioned to the railways. So the point I'm making is that make this criminal negligence in whatever manner. Now here the worst is that we are telling that the citizens are responsible. So we are living in the modern world. The railways are producing the best and the very best. Why can't there be a speaker system? Why can't there be an announcement? Hey, this is wrong. I mean that's what I will say. If you don't fix culpability, make it criminal. I mean, the statements like this that 20 people got moved down, cattle got moved down, every day this happens, and the railways have nothing more to say. And these damages which are being given, I mean, what? When the Indian life is just 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, I mean, this is the problem. I mean, there will be people who can object to this, but this is absolutely what I have felt on the ground as SP Railways way back in 1999. I mean, the railways did not really, they took it very against me that I registered an offence of criminal negligence on the railways.
All right, Mr. Prempal Sharma, how do you feel about this? Is this anything else apart from being a freak accident?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Go on, sir.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Pandey and Rama, because you started with that this kind of accident is in the chain of the railway accidents. No, we completely disagree. Absolutely. ये ऐसा नहीं है. हमें इससे सबक सिखाने की जरूरत है और हमारे पूरे समाज के लिए शिक्षा है कि अफवाह फैलाने वाले, अफवाह सुनने वाले और फिर इस पैनिक में कूदने वाले क्या बिना सोशल एजुकेशन के संभव है? इस पर दुनिया की कोई भी ताकत ऐसे एक्सीडेंट्स को नहीं रोक सकती. जैसा कि मिस्टर पांडे जी ने बताया कि कोई ट्रेन अचानक रेल की पटरी पर आ जाए. दूसरा, मुझे ये ट्रेजेडी है, हम सबको दुख है आखिर उन चेहरों को देखकर जिनके अपने सगे संबंधी गए, लेकिन उसको किसी ऐसी टेक्निकल फॉल्ट से या रेलवे की लापरवाही से जोड़ना मुझे लगता है कि शायद इस चीज को डाइल्यूट करना होगा. हमें सोचने की जरूरत है कि अगर अचानक ऐसा हो भी जाए तो हमें अपने बच्चों को क्या शिक्षा दें. हम उन स्कूलों में उन बेकार की बातों को सिखाने के बजाय कि जिसमें रिलीजन, कास्ट और इन सारी चीजों की हम बातें करते हैं, ये एक सोशल एजुकेशन है. मेरा तो मानना यही है कि अचानक हमारे यहाँ ऐसा हो जाता है कि किसी मंदिर में किसी बाबा के लिए ऐसी भीड़ उमड़ पड़ती है, किसी और तीर्थ के लिए हो पड़ती है. मुझे लगता है इसके सबक सिर्फ रेलवे के लिए नहीं है, पूरे देश के लिए सबक है कि अगर ऐसा है तो. दूसरा प्रश्न मेरा है, कुछ हमारा रेलवे की कुछ होती है कि कर्व था वहां पर, जैसा कि अभी रिपोर्ट से पता लगा है. कर्व होने की वजह से वो बेचारे देख भी नहीं पाए. आप ही या किसी ने कहा कि आई थिंक यू व्हाट कैन बी द चेक्स एंड बैलेंस. अगर कोई ट्रेन लगातार पीछे से इतनी तेजी से आ रही है अचानक ही, क्या उस पर ब्रेक लगाना संभव था? और अगर ब्रेक लगाया जाता तो वो हादसा कितना बड़ा हो सकता था, डिरेल हो जाता. देखा जाए तो मैं जो ट्रेजेडी हुई है उसको कम नहीं आता है, लेकिन ये इस समय कोई पॉसिबिलिटी ऐसी हो ही नहीं सकती. ये बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है कि जैसे अचानक ही पहाड़ फट जाना या साइक्लोन हो जाना. लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि वो तो एक दैवीय हुआ, ऑलमाइटी का हुआ. ऐसी इंसिडेंट्स को हम रोक सकते हैं. इसका तीसरा डायमेंशन है कि आखिर वो चाय वाला वहां कौन था, क्या ट्रेन खड़ी हुई थी और क्या उसको अभी तक पकड़ा गया है, और अगर पकड़ा गया है तो उसको चारों तरफ से शायद उसको पब्लिकली आपके टेलीविजन पर उसका हम बहुत सारी छोटी मोटी चीजों को पिछले दिनों से एक एक्टर की मौत के लिए हम सारा मीडिया पागल बनाए हुए है। क्या ये इस ऐसे कल्प्रिट का कम अपराध है? इसको पकड़ा जाए जिससे कि इसको दंड मिले और भविष्य में भी कोई ऐसा कदम ना उठाए। बस मैं यही कहूंगा। ईश्वर जो जिनकी जान गई है उनके लिए प्रार्थना।
चलिए ठीक है, सुधांशु मनी, आपका क्या मानना है? व्हाट डू यू थिंक हैज रियली हैपेंड ओवर हियर? एंड you know, there's also the aspect of social responsibility that perhaps has been compromised because of this accident or in the events leading up to this accident.
So first of all, as you also mentioned that accidents are on the rise, let me clarify. There are two narratives. One is of the opposition and perhaps the public at large that accidents are going up, which is not correct. Accidents have come down. Casualties, which used to be in the range of 500, 600, 10 years back, are in the range of 25, 30 today. If you leave aside Balasore, which spoiled the statistics. But it's not a question of statistics, which I have said on your show earlier also. It's a time when technology is available to move towards zero accident regime, and not enough is being done by railways in that direction. That's a general statement. Coming to this unfortunate accident, this is for once, it is difficult to blame railways or others who tend to, bring out sabotage in every accident. None of this is applicable here. It is unfortunate. It was on a curve. People do have a habit to get down from the train and stand on the next track. It is happening every day. Awareness has to be increased. What is notable, such tragedies usually happen in the general coaches. Not always, but largely a majority. Why? First of all, the travelers are less privileged and less educated, less informed. So yes, there is a case informing people that railways have a right of way. It is not a road. On a road, nobody has a right of way. Here, railways have a right of way. And unlike a road where the braking distance are 10 to 20 feet, here the braking distances are half a kilometer to 1 kilometer. It's not possible for a driver to look at an obstruction and stop the train as in case, even if it was not a curvature. So that's why railways have been given a right of way. Now, how can it be avoided? Every coach is being fitted with a fire alarm system. I don't know whether this coach was fitted or not, but at the same time, this is for fire in the interior of the coach, not in the undercarriage, as was the case in this accident. Some smoke did come out, and the chaiwala, so to say, shouted, and people panicked. They pulled the chain and then got down. But in any case, learning from this accident, we must examine more strongly whether coaches are being provided with fire alarm system. Number two, why general coaches? You see, all air-conditioned and sleeper coaches are usually vestibule. So people can go from one coach, they don't panic, they can run to the other coach. In general coaches, they are usually not vestibule. I don't know what was the case in this particular. So that also has to be thought of. If two general coaches are together, or three general coaches are together, whether there can be a vestibule connection between them, or some kind of strategy may be thought of so that they are not trapped inside the coach. Of course, that's also not applicable here because the fire was not in the coach, but in the undercarriage. If at all there was a fire, there was smoke. So largely, this is what I would say. Yes, this is one accident which is unfortunate. But there are some learnings in every accident. We must straight away not say that railways are not responsible and so on. We should look at, from the administrative point of view, as to what could have been done, not in this case, but what can be done in future to avoid such accidents. Because as I told you, people get down from coaches and stand on the next track. It's happening at every station every day. That's a fact. So railways have a responsibility to look at that aspect and see what can be done about it. In Western countries, doors don't open. Like in Vande Bharat or Tejas, doors are centrally operated and only emergency opening can be done. People just cannot get out of a train. So we have not reached that situation, but we have to think of a strategy to mitigate such risks.
All right, that's a good point. Mr. Ramakrishnan, what is the learning according to you here? Obviously the railways at this point in time cannot be completely absolved of this mishap.
Yeah, true. I am not saying that railway should not learn anything from this, but as Mr. Sudhanshumani has pointed out, it is very common for the people to get down from the coaches and then stand in the nearby, whenever the train stops for signal or anything, people get down and then stand on the next tracks or even beyond that. And if there is a train that is crossing and then this train also started moving, then they can't reach even the coach and then get into the train. And this is a curvature, this place is near the curvature, and then certainly neither the train driver, locomotive pilot or the passengers would have noticed the train. And if it is coming at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, I don't know what speed it has come. Certainly, it is not possible for the people to respond so quickly. So people take railway transport for granted. It is not like that. Rail is something like a elephant. Elephant runs very fast, but nobody can realize that elephant can run for that much fast. The same way, if the train is running at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, it's very difficult to gauge the speed and then act upon accordingly. So that is one thing. Second thing is regarding the audio system for the entire train by the pilot, whatever it may be. So these all are the old trains. So the Vande Bharat trains have the pilot system where the captain, we call it them actually the captain, is making announcements like airplanes. But these all are the old coaches and old systems. So how can we retrofit the audio system for the entire train? So certainly, practically it is very difficult. And as Mr. Sudhanshumani has pointed out, the doors are always open. So people can get down, people can fall on, people can, hang from the door. All such things we can see in the compartments. So that is what I am saying. So people have to be made aware of the fact that railway tracks are meant for rail and not for the people. So that is why the right of way is given to the railways.
Okay. Mr. Pandey, how do you respond to that? The responsibility of the railways and learnings that can be attributed to this accident. Are there any learnings here?
Let me address what just the last speaker said. Railways somebody said the railways have a right of way, and somebody said that the railway tracks and everything is owned by them. But let me tell you this: railways are transporting men, and the safety of that men should be, forget about Vande Bharat, forget about any other thing. Any train, any movement, they should make sure that the safety is super. That's the key. So the having videos, having audios within the train. I mean, you should not really even operate if you don't have those basic security measures. Yes, I understand India has 140 crores and the lives really don't matter. The cost is not too much. 5 lakhs is what it is totally going to cost. So that being said, the learning here is, yeah, certainly, man, you should first of all make sure that you can't say that, you say the people cross the road, cross the train tracks. You've not provided any barriers. Yes, India is a poor country. Poverty all said and done, but then when something can kill you, it should be made secure. I mean, this applies to a roadways normally. Why will not apply to a railroad? Suppose the same incident happened between two trucks. One truck was coming from that side, the other truck was driving the other way. What will happen? Both the drivers would have been behind the bars. But here, my last point is that whenever accidents like this happen, the railways inquiries come, there are civil inquiries. My only request is that put this into the criminal ambit and see these things will have to change, then the technology will have to come in, and there is no way that you can probably avoid any responsibility, be it social or criminal. So that's the point I want to make.
Okay, all right, point taken. Mr. Mani, would you like to respond to that?
I would like to, yeah.
One second, Mr. Ramakrishnan, one second. Mr. Mani. Mr. Mani, would you like to respond to that, sir? Okay, stop. Prempal Sharma ji, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
No, nothing to add further. The only point is what is the root cause of this incident.
सर culpability
अफवाह-
किसकी है? जिम्मेदारी किसकी है?
नहीं, जिम्मेदारी बिल्कुल आपकी है। जिम्मेदारी सबसे बड़ी उस अफवाह फैलाने वाले की है। और मैं चाहता हूं, आई विल रिक्वेस्ट यू कि यू शुड फॉलो दिस स्टोरी, दैट ही शुड बी कॉट, cameras, identification can be there, so that nobody should dare. Recently in Delhi school there was one humor. One child, just one student wanted to postpone the exam. What punishment we have done? Every day and night it is happening. It is not the fault of the whether passengers are illiterate or whatever. Anybody, even if we would have been the AC or first AC, whatever, we would have done the same thing. So that's not the. So until unless we have some drastic action against those people, those afwa, and this should go to the whole nation, because ultimately we have to educate the society. Everything cannot be done by railway. Everything cannot be done by the on the road. Second point, why everybody feels that railway track is their birthright. हमारा सबसे ज्यादा शौचालय का केंद्र रेल की पटरी बनने होते हैं। क्या हमारे सिलेबस में, हमारी एजुकेशन में anywhere it is that you should not do that? Very near there are जो बसावट बनी हुई है, बस्तियां बनी हुई हैं, रेलवे को वो करते हैं। मान लिया कि रेल उनका भी अधिकार है उस धरती पर रहने का, लेकिन अधिकार है तो हमारे पास में जो रेलवे का जो सिस्टम है उसका भी तो, हमारे तो डेडिकेटेड होता है। ऐसा तो नहीं कि कोई भी है। अगर हमारे पास ये होता है कि हम पटरी की तरफ नहीं जा सकते तो ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता। आप इसके लिए हमारा डिस्कोर्स एंड ऑल काइंड ऑफ नरेशन में कंटिन्यू, बट अंटिल अनलेस वी डू दैट देयर कैन नॉट बी एनी वे आउट। And I agree that prejudice is there, railway should also, but all those steps, centralized locking, that will lead to some other kind of problem. If any coach happens, then centralized lock is there. What happens in many the high the cars and everything? So that also not there. Question is that nobody should dare in our society. That's my request.
Chaliye, all right. On that note, we're going to dip into a short break. Appreciate everybody who joined us on the program. We'll be right back.